Okay. A few more edits here I wanted to show you. I'll just use this. And again, these are not my photos. Actually, this one's going to work great. So suppose you have a picture like this that has a horizon line in it like this. And if you notice it's just slightly askew, I want you to fix those. Don't turn things in like that. So to fix a horizon line that's not straight, you take this tool at the top here, this level tool, and you trace the line in, or the manner in which your horizon line is going. And then you just hit enter and it straightens your picture out for you. So it's really kind of a nice tool to have, very quick and simple, hopefully. And the less crooked it is, the less it's going to, it did crop the picture a little bit in here, but that's how you use that tool. And then I want to show you a couple of the other ones, and I need some color to do it. Let's just try this one for now. Okay, so here's this beautiful, I think it's a, I don't know what it is. It's some flower. So anyway, you've got your basic menu. So suppose you wanted to turn something black and white. Don't do that here. There's this menu in here called the HSL grayscale menu. So you can do some things. You can come in here and saturate or desaturate specific colors. Like it lets you work with them. If you watch the center here, it'll like pull out any oranges in there or make them look more gray. So if I wanted to, I could, do something interesting with the flower. I could, pull down part of it in the magentas. I could make the flower, for instance, feel more gray if I wanted to. So I could edit very specific parts of a picture using color. Again, I want these just to, I'll put them back to 0. But watch what happens with converting to grayscale. So this is where you want to turn something to black and white. So right now this is kind of a very blasé looking black and white photo. So what I want to do is I'm going to set these all back to 0. Okay, so very blasé looking. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to very specifically edit based on the colors that I knew were in that flower. I'm going to edit it to show up a little bit brighter, and then it's going to really stand out against the background. So I know that there's a lot of greens in the background. Well, maybe I'm going to put my greens a little bit darker. And in doing so, it's really forcing this flower to stand out a little bit more. And then I can come back to my basic menu and really start playing around with it. What happens if I start to boost the clarity now on that, or my highlights? So you want to start to fool around with things in a couple of these different menus. Then I can come in here and say I want to blur out the background a little bit more. Then I could take my brush here. I'm going to set some of these back to the way they were, and I want it a little bit bigger. I want a little bit of a feather, and I want to show my mask so I can see where I'm painting. That's a little bit too big. So like I said, you want to come in here and be able to sort of have some of these things work together. Now I'm not really actually applying this change right here. I'm only laying a mask down so I can see where I've painted. So then I'm going to take that off. And maybe I pull down the clarity. Now watch the background there as it starts to blur out a little bit more. Now the trick is to not make it look fake. So I'm finished with this. I hit this and come back. Another area is FX menu. Now I do this to a lot of my photographs. I come in here and do this post-crop vignetting. And watch the outside edge here, and it just sort of brings this dark shadow around. This is really getting dark now, but let me see if I can, I'll pull down the feather on it so you can really see what's going on. So what I'm doing is bringing in this dark edge around my image. Here's the roundness of it. And then the feather is what sort of brings that dull edge in there to make it blend in. Now I think the overall thing is a little bit too dark, so I'm going to brighten it up a little. So there I am, like I'm finished. I've made those changes, and it's interesting. So now I'm not keeping those changes because I don't want to turn that one. It was the only photo I had of that. So if you want to do things like that, that's why I want you to duplicate them and play around with it. So what I want you to do is sort of go through those things, make edits. Don't over edit anything. And one of them should be one particular picture that you choose to duplicate 3 different times. you'll see the assignment that's in there and the examples. So that's what I want you to do. Don't upload anything yet. I'm going to show you what to do with them after today. You're going to be able to make a crop tool next class period and rename them, but we're going to do that in Photoshop. So just edit your photos for today. Have fun with some of those edits, see what it does, and try some interesting stuff out.